All right, everybody, welcome back to the channel Lifestyle by SK, where wine, cigars, and relationships create that tapestry of extraordinary experience. Now, today we have a very, very exciting video that I want to bring to you all and a very great topic. Now, this is definitely needs to hit, and it needs to hit very hard because a lot of you are missing out on the understanding this, but I want to talk about today on how that attraction got you stuck. That attraction got you stuck, and why compatibility is the real power. And what I want you to picture in your mind, let's just be real about something here. Some of you all are dating people who look good, but it leave you emotionally bankrupt. Why does that happen? Because you're so much in love by the way that that person walks into a room, but you can't stand how they talk to you behind closed doors. That attraction is what got you stuck, but compatibility is that's how you set yourself free. And so, what I want to do is I want us to be able to talk about why your type might just be your trap, and why compatibility is the real love language that you all have been ignoring. Now, you got some friends that are going through this. You definitely need to tap in with them, let them know about the episode, because this is the fine but fragile epidemic that we have going on. And what happens is I want to look at how the beauty addiction is definitely deeply rooted in the dating culture that we have today, because it's no longer about compatibility. Nobody wants to be compatible anymore. And what happens is we are so glorified. We've glorified fine so much that we forgot to ask, can this person function? So while I'm speaking about it from a male perspective, this same token can be taken from the female's viewpoint, looking at the men that they deal with. Because what happens in our dating culture that we have right now is you can have a good man or woman who would get into a relationship with someone, get messed up and messed over, and then they take that mess to the next person, spoiling it down the line, and that next person has to pay for what's going on that the previous male or female did. Now, if you don't get anything out of this whole episode, what I want to make sure that you all understand clearly is this is about bringing both man and woman back together so that they can create a foundational family, a nuclear family, to then spread their seeds, have children, boy, girl, whatever. But I want to make sure that I'm perfectly clear on the purpose of this channel is to bring couples together. Get that man, get that woman, get them compatible with one another, bring them together so that they can get married, so they can start a family and start their legacy. That is the whole point of this channel. And I want to make sure that it's crystal clear, because what happens here is we tend to forget that, ask ourselves if the person that we're dealing with, if that person is functional. Can they function? Do they need you around, or can they be able to operate on their own? Are they even emotionally intelligent enough to have the conversations around the necessary basic things, what I call the prereqs in life? Are they even spiritually grounded? A lot of you are not. A lot of you are grounded with everything else. And you just have to understand too, or are they just good in a fitted outfit? Take this for example. Say you got a man out there who looks like he walked out of a cologne ad, okay? But he disappears when it's time to have the real conversation. So what happens is that, fellas, ladies, pretty don't raise kids. When you look at fellas, when you're looking at a pretty woman out there, a pretty woman doesn't raise kids. What happens is that also doesn't heal trauma, and fine won't pay bills on time. But we are so stuck on how a person looks, and I'm definitely not saying get with somebody that is not aesthetically pleasing, meaning if that man is looking at that woman, he's looking at how attractive that she is. He's looking to see if she's feminine. He's looking to see if she's fit, and he's basing his decisions off from that. I'm not saying to ignore that, but what I'm saying is, in addition to that, we need to understand and basically see if that person is actually fit to be with you and actually functional and emotionally intelligent enough to have those conversations later on down the line when you all get to that point. Now, what we have is we have a lot of people that will get on their phone, and that social media's fake compatibility, what that turns into is that exposes a lot of different things that should have been seen earlier on. So, for example, social media got people out here chasing TikTok romance, thinking that matching pajamas equals matching souls, and that's not even nowhere close. But half of those couples out there don't even like each other off the camera. Because what you see on camera in those videos is only showing you certain aspects of life, but the people who may live in the community with those people may know them personally. They may know them off camera, and they may seen things that you will never actually see on camera in the first place. But are we out here truly comparing the reality to somebody else's performance? So is this why real love doesn't feel like viral enough for you? So what happens is you have people who will go and look at a video on Instagram. They will say, "Oh, this couple is out enjoying a nice life, or they live in a nice home," and then they want to turn around and look at the person that they land up next to, and they want to see, "Oh, well, my life isn't like that. How can I push this person to be like that?" And that is not the way that it should happen, because for one, everybody's not meant to live that kind of lifestyle in the first place. That's what we have to understand, that we're missing a lot of that. And what happens is, do we even know what you're compatible with? Has any of you ever actually sat down and wrote out and actually thought about it? Have we turned the mirror on ourselves to basically give a self-reflection and ask ourselves, you say you want peace, but you keep dating people who bring chaos into your life. So what you're actually compatible with is actually calmness, or are we normalizing drama? Now, I want you to look at this. When you look on social media and you're scrolling through on your phone, what you see that drama is now a new form of entertainment online. So people are going to gravitate towards that, and they think that's the normal way of life. But when they run into somebody who is not about that life, who is calm, who actually wants to sit down, talk, and have an emotionally intelligent conversation with you, they don't want to have a conversation with those people. They are considered boring to them. Trust me, I've been down that road before. What we have to make sure that we understand is, I want to make sure that people don't confuse compatibility with excitement, because you think someone who triggers you is passionate, but no, sometimes that's just trauma chemistry. You like dealing with the same people. Like, for example, I know people who love drama. They love to be in the arguments. They love to get into it with the person they with, but then they would not even function around a normal person. A normal person is going to be somebody out there that's going to be considerate about what they actually say amongst the person that they're dealing with. They're going to treat them with respect. What woman out here in this world would not want a man to treat her with respect? And I'm talking about old school respect, like opening up doors, meeting the family, and actually listening to the woman as well, and making sure that you all are talking to one another to keep each other happy. Because the same energy that you had, fellas, when you got with that woman, it's the same energy that you need to take after, even in forms of dating. I remember being in a church one Sunday. I remember hearing the pastor say, the same way that you got her in terms of if y'all were dating, going out and hanging out, and then you all of a sudden stop doing that when you married, that's going to be a problem, because what happens is that person moves further and further away from you, because you're not doing the small things that you were doing at first. And we are missing A lot of that, people. Don't let social media steer you away from the basic foundational prerequisite items that you need in the relationship in the first place. Now, when we look at attraction, we have to make sure to rewire our brain in a way of what attraction should most definitely include. So, attraction is definitely needs to be more than skin deep. Can we actually look at that and say, hey, can this actually stimulate our mind? Can we challenge each other to grow? Can we make your spirit feel safe? So let me give you an example. Ladies, a lot of you sometimes out here want to push that man to be an entrepreneur or make six figures a year, but that man may be perfectly happy making his 45 to $50,000 a year. So yes, he may be attracted to you and he may stimulate your mind, but financially, if he's not on the financial level that he wants to be on, it has to be because he wants to be on that level, not because you want to have bragging rights to your girlfriends about how much money that your man makes. That is not what we need to be getting into, and that is what's failing a lot on social media right now. Is the big push is a lot of women are out here talking about they only want to deal with the man that makes so much money a year. And what we have to make sure that we do is we have to actually stop chasing people only to activate your hormones. And you should start looking for the ones who activate your healing. A lot of us need to be healed because we're always trying to point the finger back and say, well, who hurt you? Everybody has been hurt at some point in their life, whether it been major or whether it had been minor. And it's all is still stemming back to compatibility. That is what is at the root of this whole entire conversation. But I want you to look at this. Compatibility isn't loud, people. It is very peaceful. Okay. It's knowing that you don't have to perform to be loved. It's feeling understood without having to beg for it. So when you really think about it, when was the last time that you felt safe in someone's presence? Not just seen, but like actually held mentally and emotionally. Ladies, how would you feel around a man who made you feel that way, who made you feel safe, who made you feel like you are heard, who made you feel that respect without actually saying anything? And a lot of you have missed out on that for so long that you then bring the drama into the next relationship and the next relationship and the next relationship. Because, like I said, the ultimate goal is to get you all more married so that you can have both parents in the household that are compatible to then feed this into your offspring and for your kids to take this on and your legacy to continue. It's very important that we have both of the parents in the home. And I don't want to hear about, well, we had kids and it didn't work out. No, before you even think about starting having kids, you have to start asking those person questions, to actually interviewing that person and actually talking about it and actually understanding, are we compatible with each other? Can this work out? And if it does, if majority of the probability of that leans to you all having a successful time together and relationship together to build a family, then that is definitely a great start. We are missing this so much because a lot of people feel so unsafe that they don't want to be with anybody. They just want to keep on moving and going down their own path. And that is what we're missing. I don't understand how this could be so difficult because I hear people saying it's so hard to find a good man out here. Oh, there's no other good women out here because they're sleeping around with everybody. There are plenty of good people out here. The problem is the places that you are going, you're running into the bad ones, and the energy that you are giving off is what is turning people off. You don't believe me? Get in your car or get in your vehicle, whatever you got, your bike, whatever. Go to the store, go to the gym, go to a coffee shop and just sit there and just look. Don't try to holler at nobody. Don't try to throw your shots. Just sit there and just look. And when you sit there, what I want you to observe is just see how people move and how people operate. And you can tell some people who like drama. You can tell when some people who actually genuinely want to have a conversation, and you let that lead into the possibility of you all building a foundation. But what if your soulmate isn't your type? And I really want you to think about this, because I want to make sure to shake up the core of these current dating standards that we have. Because what if your soulmate doesn't fit your checklist? Because as I said, you have to have a checklist, you have to have some prereqs. In a lot of spaces, in terms of career opportunity, before you sign off on something, you have to have a checklist of things. Like a pilot, he has a checklist of things that he goes through, some prereqs that he goes through, he or she, before they fly that plane and off the ground, they have to pass a standardized checklist. And we need to start getting some standardized checklists of things that we need before we get involved with somebody. So I am 100% telling all of you men out there, at this moment, you need to have a checklist of things that you will take and things that you will not take from a woman in a relationship. Ladies, I want you to also have a checklist of things that you will and won't take from a man before you get into a relationship. And you all pull these together, and then you're going to start weeding out the people that you know you shouldn't be with and the people who you are probably deal with. And it's more than likely going to work out, and more of you could likely definitely get married. And I really want you all to think about this, because I know a lot of people would just comment on videos and they'll be so upset. But look, this truth's going to have to come out one way or the other, because I really want to get through to a lot of you. But when your soulmate doesn't fit your checklist, what if the person, what if the person that you are meant to grow with doesn't give you butterflies, ladies? But what if that person gives you peace? I don't know a single man on this planet who will love to walk into a house to a woman that's feminine fit and who would give them peace. A man will walk out on a relationship, ladies. You could be fit, you could be feminine, and if you don't give him peace, he can walk out. But I want you to think about this. A lot of you, you're out here overlooking the person who you are built to love. You are out here overlooking the person that you're built to love you right, because they didn't look the way, lust the way that you said that they should be. Think about this. Think about all the people that you have talked to, people you've given your number to, people you have dated, people you've went out here to hang out with. Think about that, because attraction will get you in the room, will get you in the vicinity, but compatibility is what is going to keep you there. Why do you think a lot of people who get together break up? They were physically attracted to one another, and you're like, man, she is so fine. The lady's like, man, this man is so handsome. They get together and they don't work out. The marriages don't even last as long as they used to anymore, because attraction is what got them in the room, but that compatibility is what's actually keeps it going and keep you in there. But you've had the chemistry before, people, and a lot of you have still ended up crying, being mad. So maybe it's time for you to choose different, because what you was doing likely wasn't working. So you definitely got to try something different. But what I want you all to do is I want you all to reflect. I want you all to reflect on, I want you to think about the last relationship that you were in. And I want you to ask yourself, was it built on attraction or alignment? And then moving forward, what are you really looking for? And I really want you all to take this into consideration and think about it and everything, because I want to see more of you together. I don't even have to go over the marriage statistics in the Black community, but this right here, this message can go across any person from any background, any country, whatever, because I really want you all to understand why this is so important. If things are not compatible, they're not going to fit. So, people, like, listen, and subscribe to the channel Lifestyle by SK, where wine, cigars, and relationships create that tapestry of extraordinary experience. You all have a good one.